Hello, Internet. I'm Matt.
And I'm Monster Punter.
And this is the Parallax Scrolling Podcast, where we give you our perspective on video games and the news that affects them. And it's been a hot minute. It's been a little while. We're going to record on the Super Bowl, day of the Super Bowl, but we heard some interesting, juicy news that we wanted to talk about, so we were going to wait. And then things got a little bit delayed and chaos. So...
It happens.
It happens.
It's Super Bowl day being Super Bowl day.
Yeah. More like Taylor Swift day now, isn't it? Anyhow, have you had any time to play any interesting games lately?
I've only really played multiplayer games lately. Mech Warrior.
Okay.
And yeah, that's about it. I've been watching a lot of anime, and I'm in the middle of a really long series right now, so...
You're binging?
Yeah, I'm binging. I haven't been playing as many games as I normally would. Sorry about that.
That's fine. I haven't had anything new, because I stopped playing Brotato for a little bit, because I unlocked most of the characters, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'll give it a break. But on Game Pass, they released... Bloodstain Ritual of the Night.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, I like that game because I own it, and I actually have a series of it on my other channel that I'll eventually go back to one day. But so I started playing that again. And it's fantastic because on the Game Pass version, they've already got most of the extras unlocked for you. So I was able to play randomizer mode right away.
Oh,
and
nice.
That's so much fun. Randomizer mode is just, you can make it utter chaos. Monsters don't change, but what they drop and what kind of weapons and stuff or powers they give you can get really wild, and it's fun. So, but I actually had to go back and play the game legitimately because I could not unlock hard mode, which adds more enemies to the maps. Until I beat the regular story mode. So I was like, oh, come on. So for like 3 days, I was like trying to rush through in speedrun to get the true ending just so I could get hard mode and feel good about myself. So
Gotcha.
So I'm currently on a hard mode rando that I'll be playing later.
Yeah, there's some impressive Xbox Game Pass games that have come out lately too.
Yeah, yeah, there are.
Not least of which, and this also came out on Sony's competitor to Game Pass 2, but if you guys have not played Tales of Arise up till now is a great time to play.
It's on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's on Sony too. If you're subscribed there.
I got lost. There was I think it was last night. I went to look, and there were 2 versions of Tales of Arise that showed up in the Game Pass menu, and I'm like, what?
Oh, I'm not sure about that right now.
If they release the DLC, I'm gonna be like mad.
Yeah, well, your save is on PlayStation, so there.
I know, that's why I'd be mad. But yeah, so that's pretty much been my gaming lately. So let's go ahead and move on, because we don't have a whole lot of time today, but we do want to get to our news stories, and we do want to get to your comments, and so that's what we're going to just jump right into. So
yeah, let's do the comment.
Yeah, let me do this official preface. If you would like to comment and have your comment read on the podcast, please go ahead and like, subscribe, and put a comment down below the video so that we can read it and talk about it on the show. Ba-dum-bum.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Oh, we're in rare mode tonight. All right. Okay, this one comes from that one dude who is a constant content provider for us, because he always participates.
We appreciate him.
Absolutely, we appreciate you. So I asked last time about game length. What's the proper time for game length? And this is his response. When it comes to the perfect game length, I prefer my games to be under 20 hours. I play a lot of indie games, and most of them don't last too long, and I really appreciate that. I don't really like games with a long run time. I usually don't finish them, not because they're bad, but I usually lose interest and new games come out. So, what about you? Because I mean, like, I kind of see where he's coming from, but I also have a different answer than that.
I would not be opposed to having shorter games nowadays, because with some exceptions, you get a lot of games that are just padded with just garbage, complete garbage. Even in the Trails games I did, there were a few like, hey, this person lost their cat, and it's like, man, if I want to get the best like stuff in the game, you need to get your ranking up all the way, and so it's like, okay, fine, I'll go save your cat. But it
should we talk about the most notorious one real quick? Assassin's Creed 2. Assassin's Creed 2 has the most notorious one of a time eater, a time waster, where you had to go and collect 100 bird feathers for your brother. Why? Oh, I like birds. I don't care. I'm trying to sneak around and murder people.
They're just trying to get you to see all the stuff they created, really, at the end of the day, I think.
Right.
But it's stuff like that, that's just needlessly pads the game out. These big open worlds, you spend an awful lot of time just going from one place to the other, and I know people like to do their exploration, but there's plenty of us out there that are just like, can we just get to the other place? I mean, that'd be nice.
Right. I think there's a point where, like, in a open world game like that, if you are wanting to explore the world to just explore, that's fine. That shouldn't be rewarded with, oh, here's the extra secret loot stuff. Because at the same time, people just want to get to the point.
Yeah. And so I think, like, if it's meaningful length, a content, that's all well and good.
What time frame would you give that?
It all depends on the game. Like, role-playing games I expect to be longer. So, I'm used to, like, the 40-hour to 50-hour RPG. Some of the Trails games were over 100 hours. Some of that is pad out, and some of it just being completionist to a certain degree. I am not a real completionist. I don't go after trophies, but, like, if the game has, like, story locked behind something, I usually would go for that. Mm-hmm. Like an action game, like The Order 1866 was criticized heavily when it came out for only being
like 7 hours.
Yeah, 6 or 7 hours. But there's supposed to be a really good 6 or 7 hours. The game was $60. $60 at the time for that game. People hated it because you only got 6 hours of content. And you want to talk about the price of games just being raised considerably over the last decade. These open world games, they're not cheap. And when you see that leak from Insomniac, and Spider-Man is, what was it, like $300 million to create? That's a lot of assets to create. That's a lot of, that world takes time and working out bugs and all that kind of stuff. What if you just had a Spider-Man game that was, you are here, you can do your web slinging in this little area. If the mission is over, you go to the next one. That's a lot cheaper game to make. They could put it out faster.
They kind of did that, though. It's called New York.
But New York's pretty big.
But I'm just saying, like, you could have put Spider-Man anywhere, and it would have been a great Spider-Man game with that same type of engine. But he's notoriously known for New York, so...
Yeah. I'm just giving an example that...
Oh, no, absolutely, absolutely.
These games cost a lot, and if you want to have cheaper games, well, maybe shorter, cheaper games are one way to go. That one dude playing indie games is a good example of that. I think he's in the right space if he wants cheaper, lower
shorter
length games.
Yeah. I would say for me, I'm with you in the same boat where it's like, it depends on the genre. Like an RPG, if I have an RPG under 50 hours, I kind of question it. Because at that point, you really need to have some amazing content.
Let me stop you for 1 second too. Action RPGs can be shorter. They don't. Well,
action RPGs are different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like one of my favorite action RPGs, Alundra, is not that long. Like I think it's max 20 hours.
Yeah. That's a beloved game too.
Right. But like Final Fantasy 16, it took me 64. And that felt about right. You know? But then like you come to like my major genre of Metroidvanias, which I'm still working on the video. Just sidetrack there. But most Metroidvanias, if the game is around 10 hours, I'd say you got a good game. Like there's a good chance for it to be a great game. I really, oh gosh, I'm probably gonna get some hate for saying this, so I'm just gonna say it though. It's got to get out there. I have to voice my concern.
You too hate Faxanadu.
No, I love Faxanadu, and you have no taste in that respect. Anyways, no, there is a Metroidvania game that has. It depends on what camp you're in. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I'm in the hate category of it.
Oh, hold on. Let me guess.
You won't get it.
Hollow Knight.
No. Again, wrong. Stop.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Okay, you're done talking. I'm going to mute you. No, it's a game called Time Spinner, and it sucks that I hate it because it had some really cool concepts. Like I really like the mechanics, or the idea for the mechanics. I just don't feel like they were fleshed out, and I got my druthers for that game, whole different reasons. Another conversation entirely. But I got the true ending on my first try, and the game was only 7 hours long. And for a Metroidvania that requires you to do a lot, that's supposed to require you to do backtracking and side quests and things like that, it felt completely underwhelming. And yeah. But then, like, you take Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is one of my favorite, and it was over 100 hours for me, my first time through, because I was learning the game, you know? Yeah. That's fantastic. Metroid Dread took me, like, I think 16, somewhere between 16 and 30 hours. I can't remember exactly.
I didn't know you played that one.
Yeah, I love that one. I have it. But then, like, you get to, like, Super Metroid, which people know of Super Metroid. If you know what you're doing in that game, you can beat it in under 2 hours. But you have to know what you're doing. So that's where the argument comes in. Like a good, you know, your first time playing, you're probably going to spend 15 to 30 hours trying to understand Super Metroid, I would say. And that's fine. That's acceptable. So, those are just kind of my opinions on it all. I don't want to harp on that subject too much, but you know what? We'll just leave it open. If you guys have more comments about game length, tell us in the comments down below on this episode. We look at these, we will come back to it, and we want to answer it. We really want your opinions, so let us know. So okay, news time. I say as I like pat my lap like a drum for some dumb reason. Anyhow. Did you hear the news about a very anticipated DLC coming?
Yes, I'm very excited for the DLC you're going to talk about. It's the Clanned expansion for MechWarrior 5, right?
Oh, you disappoint me on so many levels. Anyhow, what Monster doesn't understand, although he does, and he's just, you know, he's hiding it.
What? I'm very excited for that DLC, to be honest with you.
I know you are, but that's not the one I'm talking about. Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree has officially been announced.
Oh, that one.
Which is very interesting because there's a, I think it was like last week, there was talk about it being completely canceled. Like they weren't going to do it anymore.
Oh, yeah, like there was
there was like a Twitter post, like a screen cap, where the companies give you a screenshot of what they want to say in the picture, and said like, yeah, we're not doing it. Well, trailer came out today actually, and June 21st, expect the next expansion or the first expansion in Elden Ring, which is already a massive game. If you're dear children of the internet, do not try to complete that game on your first playthrough. Just don't. You will drive yourself crazy. Just go play the game the way you think you need to, enjoy the experience, and then come back. There's too many ways to play that game, I think. We talked about this. The Super Beer Brothers, who I forgot to caption, and I'm that's my bad. I'll have to do that again, hopefully on this one. But Super Beer Brothers, they're currently playing through Elden Ring as Mario from the Super Mario Brothers.
They've got a mod for the PC version, eh?
No, they're literally just grabbing the items in the game that Mario would be known for using. So, like, for example, the Flame Sling spell looks like a fire flower. Stuff like that. So they're currently trying to run around the world of Elden Ring as Super Mario, and it's a fun time. So definitely go check that out. But yeah, so Shadow of the Erdtree. So it looked like there's about 5 different bosses. It looks like there's some new game mechanics. Yes, the repeating crossbow looks amazing.
I did like that, actually.
I may make a crossbow user just because. Not normally a crossbow person in those kind of games. A bow person, yes. Crossbow, no. But I might go crossbow for that. That's awesome. So yeah, expect that coming out soon on all your favorite systems that carry the Elden Ring: PC, Xbox, PlayStation.
You know what would be more intimidating than the machine gun crossbow? Is a machine gun crossbow that shoots crossbows.
You're stepping into the realm of Borderlands.
I would love it though.
Well, there's a shotgun that fired shotguns.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you're stepping into the realm of Borderlands there. Now, if they did a crossover, cool.
Who wouldn't want that, though? I mean, a shotgun that shoots shotguns, too? I mean, who doesn't want that?
I mean, there are people out there. But, to each their own.
You want it.
Uh-huh.
But you know what you won't get?
What?
Is any first-party PlayStation releases before March 2025. Coming to us from Polygon, the PS5 Sony does not anticipate having any new games to like a existing franchise before 2025. That doesn't mean that there could be some new proper IP. That's the way I interpret it. But there are a lot of really good third-party games coming out this year too. So I think like
Rebirth.
Rebirth, which gosh, it's like next week.
Is it really?
It's like the 29th or something like that.
Oh man.
There's other ones too, like Silent Hill 2 that's coming, among other things. So I think it's going to be a slim year. I think Microsoft will probably be better than Sony for the first time in a long time as far as first party releases, which is just nuts to think about.
Yeah, but when you say it like that, it's kind of like saying well, technically this year Sony isn't competing, so therefore Microsoft is going to win. That's a rough kind of statement to make,
But after several years of Microsoft not really competing, I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Speaking of Microsoft, though, I mean, I'm going to pivot away from PlayStation for just a moment. I know one of the other big things in the elephants in the room, so to speak, is the Microsoft news from last.
Just in general, yeah.
Yeah, there's been a ton of it. At the end of the day, I mean, if you've probably already heard this, but 4 games are coming to other platforms. I think long-term, Microsoft is finding that Game Pass is hard to sustain in the current business environment, and they're doing everything that they can to expand it.
Right.
They need more users, and when Sony is outselling your console 2-1, and Xbox users are your primary motivators for using Game Pass. Let's be honest, there's not as many PC Game Pass users out there.
But that's probably going to change soon once they start putting all the Activision Blizzard stuff on Game Pass. For example, they could put World of Warcraft on Game Pass. I think someone was talking about that at one point.
Sure.
You put that on Game Pass, you're going to get people. People are going to want to play at that point.
Yeah. And they are going to put Diablo 4 on it. That's been confirmed. So
yes, it has.
I want to just caution people that, I think Microsoft is just, they just spent $70 billion on the acquisition deal. And when you're spending millions and millions of dollars on games, let's be honest, any game that comes on Game Pass or the PlayStation equivalent, they don't sell very well because people are just going to play it on Game Pass. Especially with new games, that's one of the things Microsoft is running into, is their new games just aren't selling because people have Game Pass. And so why would I buy Forza 5 when I just play it on Game Pass? It's going to be on Game Pass forever. As long as I'm a Game Pass customer, I can play it. That's why you see a lot of DLCs. So I think that's one of the ways they're trying to recoup costs, but we'll see. But
right.
I think overall, it'll be fine for Microsoft to do what they're doing. They said there's another console coming out. They say it's going to be the biggest leap ever. Of course, you got to hype up your stuff. I honestly see them becoming third party before 3035. I'd be surprised if they
okay, well,
3035
is a long shot anyway.
Sure it is, but I mean, think about it. We're talking about a console generation right now that's going to be going through 2027, anywhere from 2026 to 2028, and they're bringing out one more console.
Yeah, but you just said 3035, so it's going to be over 1,000 years before Xbox goes.
I've been playing a lot of BattleTech. And our MechWarrior, BattleTech MechWarrior Same Universe, and 3035 is a year in that. So yes. 30.
Your mechs are going to be powered by Microsoft Xbox.
I fear for the future all of a sudden. Although if there's a future where big stompy robots exist, I want to be there.
Well, since you're already kind of talking about my stories for Xbox, let's go ahead and get into them. So yes, there was speculation over the past week and a half of Xbox not doing consoles anymore. Mm-hmm. And Phil Spencer has actually come out and said, yeah, we're going to do that eventually, but not anytime soon. And what they have stated is that, yes, they got another console coming out. They're really talking about pushing the hardware on it. And from what I saw before, I still can't find the picture again, which kind of ticks me off. But it looks like there's going to be an Xbox controller with a screen attached. Like it looks like a normal Xbox controller, but then the screen sits literally on top of that Xbox controller. Wow. And that's and that might be the portable console. Who knows? But it was just kind of an interesting picture to see. But what else did they talk about? Well, like Monster stated earlier, Microsoft has confirmed that 4 of their games are going to go multi-platform. Those games are Grounded, Pentiment, Hi-Fi Rush, and Sea of Thieves. Now, 3 of those are kind of a cool idea. Pentiment, I don't know. I don't know if that's something. I don't know. I honestly don't know how popular that is with a lot of people. I have not heard a lot of people excited about that game, but I loved Hi-Fi Rush. I think it's going to be a great. It's going to be a great game on whatever system it goes to. Sea of Thieves already super popular, and especially now that they're doing that, Skull and Bones looks even worse because everyone's like, "Oh, it's literally Sea of Thieves, just Ubisoft edition." And then Grounded, if you want to play Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the game, you need to do that. So, kudos to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they did talk about they're going to be doing some, have you seen the pictures for the Brooklyn? That's what they're calling it, which is kind of weird because they don't even spell Brooklyn right.
I'm not sure. No, I don't recall seeing it.
It looks like an Alexa. Like a really tall Alexa.
Huh. Okay.
Then there's the Elwood, which is just a new version of the Xbox Series S, or as I love to call it, the hot plate. because it does look like a hot plate. The new Xbox controller called the Sebile or Sebile. I don't know how you want to say that.
Sybil?
Yeah, Sebile.
Okay.
But yeah, they have plans for the future regarding consoles. They're not done yet. But yeah, I don't know. Do you think they need to step away? I mean, here's a great question. Let's look at it through history. Did stepping away work for Sega?
That's debatable, I would say.
Right?
Yeah. I think just Sega made a lot of dumb decisions, made a lot of bad games.
They relied a lot on decisions made by Sega of America, which is probably not what they should have done at that time.
Well, in the 90s for sure. The whole
32X.
Whoever had the 32X idea, I had a 32X, admittedly, but it was just a bad idea. It should have never come out. And then how else to say this? For a good 10 plus years, Sega kind of went into hibernation, not releasing anything very good, not releasing very many good things. The best choice they made that whole time was acquiring Atlas.
Yep.
If they did not acquire Atlas, I don't think Sega's here.
Right. I don't even know if Atlas would be here, to be honest.
Yeah. But now Sega's starting to do some things. It's been nice. I'm very much looking forward to what they're bringing out.
Here's the only future I'd be excited to see. If Microsoft does decide, hey, we're going to step away from making consoles now and just be a multi-platform system, the immediate year after, Sega goes, guess what? Dreamcast 2. And just drop a bomb on people.
Dude, if Sega ever decides to make a console again, like a legitimate contender, I'm there for it, man. I'm totally there for it.
Even better, they go, Dreamcast 2, first launch game, Phantasy Star 5.
I'm there.
I'm totally there. We love our Sega.
The Dreamcast was an underrated console. Excellent.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, I think if Microsoft goes third party, they're one of the biggest third parties in the world at that point. They want to push it's obvious they want to push Xbox as an ecosystem. They want to bring people in from all over the place to play. That means their games have to be everywhere. I think it's just an inevitability that their games are going to be everywhere. Where does that leave the Xbox? Not in a good place if they bring those games day and date to the other consoles too. If there's some sort of exclusivity time for their Xbox platform, and I think they shouldn't bring it to if they want their Xbox to be viable, they shouldn't bring it to PC either right away.
Right.
That's what they need to have, some sort of a year or two lead time, and then bring the games out elsewhere. Then there's a reason to have an Xbox. But if they bring everything day and date and the Xbox is included in that, why would you get an Xbox? Why wouldn't you just get a PlayStation and a PC? Boom. Right. You have all the games. You have all the Microsoft games. Who cares at that point? Why buy an Xbox?
No, you're absolutely right. And at that point, why doesn't Nintendo just do the same thing?
Yeah.
Let's get back to it.
I have my Series X. I have all my games that I bought from the 360. I can access on it. I can, for feature games, I can just do PC or something like that. Of course, that's assuming. Well, I might stick with Xbox because the physical aspect. But if Xbox goes all digital, then what am I gonna do? We'll see. Okay, but speaking of things you won't see, Nintendo's next console is reportedly delayed to 2025. I think this is a very Nintendo thing to do. Now, granted, the Switch came out in 2017, so the idea of a 7-year console cycle, even for something as aged as the Switch, isn't completely out of the realm of possibility. But then again, this is Nintendo. This is the company who milked Game Boy, the original Game Boy, in all of its incarnations.
And the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, from 1989, I believe, was the year the Game Boy came out, all the way to 2001. 88. Okay.
Yeah, but still, either way, yeah.
Yeah. 2001, when the Game Boy Advance came out. I mean, Nintendo takes
Actually,
a very...
Yeah, go ahead.
Huh?
I was going to say, didn't they also... didn't they continue to push the Game Boy even after the Game Boy Advance came out for a little bit?
Of course,
yeah.
of course.
So, like...
Nintendo is very content to rest on their laurels, so to speak, as long as the Switch is selling and they're selling games. Why would you bring out another system? That's the way Nintendo's approach has been historically.
Right.
It's the way that they're going to be going forward. It's just the way it is. I'll tell you what, 15 years from now, if the Switch is still selling, they probably wouldn't come out with another console.
No. I mean, I think Mario Kart 8 is probably their biggest example of them not willing to change anything as long as they're making money on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's an excellent example of everything I just said. Mm-hmm. I mean, by 15 years from now, they'll have 532 tracks. That's an exact number. You can quote me on it.
532.
Yes.
All right. You heard it here, folks.
Oh, man. And what do I get if I'm right?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You get internet points, which we all know mean nothing.
Well, getting something is better than nothing. And
True.
In the case of Unicorn Overlord, even though it doesn't come out till next month, where there is a demo now, I am personally excited to play this demo. I'm a big strategy guy. I like strategy games. It looks
is that
like
only on Switch?
I think the demo is only on Switch for right now.
All right, I'll have to download it.
But I'm not buying it on Switch for sure.
Right.
I want to play it. It's supposed to be like it have real-time elements to it, and the art, oh man, Vanillaware art is just amazing. I love it.
Yeah, whether you actually like a Vanillaware game for being a game, you cannot argue that the art is just something else.
Yeah.
Every single Vanillaware game is amazing in that respect.
And when you look at a game made by Vanillaware, you know it's a Vanillaware game.
Absolutely.
Sometimes for good and sometimes for bad reasons.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, personally super excited about that game. Then, of course, there was the Nintendo Direct that happened. Now, to be quite honest with you, I'm not very excited about a lot of this stuff. There are some interesting things, like the fact that Battletoads, the Rare collection, or not really a collection, but just a few Rare games coming. The Epic Mickey announcement's interesting. Shin Megami Tensei is getting a new version. Speaking of which, Shin Megami Tensei 5 is coming to other consoles now. So one of Switch's best 2021 games or 2022, I can't remember which one, is coming to other consoles. And so I probably will pick it up at that point, because I usually play... I haven't really played... I played like the Persona games, and I played the Soul Hackers, but I've never really played Shin Megami Tensei, so give it a try.
Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner, there's like a whole like that whole universe is very, very deep. I think it's I would say it's actually deeper than Trails, just because there's like 4 different titles to that one universe. That's what makes it wild.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there, but I think like just the thing overall, there's not really... I think there's some cool games. If you are a Switch only player, there's a lot to be excited here for.
Yeah.
Super Monkey Ball will be fun. I do want to try that.
I love Super Monkey Ball.
I do. I love Super Monkey Ball, so I do look forward to that. Of course, those 2 Microsoft games were announced.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's all I got, though.
Okay.
So,
well, I only got one more story, and it's a big story for, I think, us, you and I. But it's not a happy story, and I don't like closing out on a sad story, but I think it's important enough to talk about it. For those who don't know, and I do say that because it only happened on like the news broke out on Valentine's Day, but Yoshitaka Murayama, who is the creator of the Suikoden series and was leading the group that made Eiyuden Chronicle, the spiritual successor to Suikoden, unfortunately passed away on February 6th. And just from complications with an illness. Not much is more said about that. There was a statement that was put out. I'll try to read it kind of briefly. Murayama first began this journey of the creation of Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes in 2020 through the support of his very loving fans on Kickstarter. Throughout the 3+ year development of the game, it was always the passion from his fans that continued to drive his creative vision and motivate him to put his all into the project. His hard work on Eiyuden Chronicle as a scenario writer was finished, but as his coworkers and friends, it saddens us to know that he won't get to see the reaction from his fans. However, even with those feelings, we need to accept the reality that he is no longer with us and continue to push his dream forward by releasing Eiyuden Chronicle to the world. We want to maintain his legacy and vision with this game and know that he would have wanted the rich world he has created with Eiyuden Chronicle to live on. And it goes on a little further after that, but yeah, this sucks.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I was looking forward to the game.
I mean, still am. It's still coming out.
Yeah.
So, but it's more like I didn't just want to play the game. Like I knew this game was going to do well. I know this game is going to do well. It's going to sell a bajillion copies, and there's going to be another one. And it saddens me to know that he's not going to be on board anymore.
Yeah, it's,
So it's going to have a different feeling.
Yeah, and for sure it will.
Yeah, I mean, but that's just the way it goes because, that's how art and artistry is. But yeah, so we are sincerely bummed, and we highly encourage all of you, if you're into RPGs of any kind, go pick up the Suikoden series. Find a way to try and get some. Good luck, because they're really expensive.
Well, they're supposed to be coming out with the remakes, so at least for the first two, I want to say.
Right. So yeah, get those, and get Eiyuden Chronicle.
Yeah, it's coming to Game Pass, I believe. But definitely.
You know what? I think even with it coming to Game Pass, I'm still gonna buy this one.
Well, I'll see if there's a physical copy of it available.
Oh, absolutely. If there's a physical copy, there's no argument. I'm getting it. But even if it's digital only, I think I'm still going to. I still want to buy it.
Yeah.
Because I want that development studio to know, like that's my way of showing my condolences and my support at the same time.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we certainly hope everybody has a good week.
Yeah, we definitely didn't want to leave you on a bad note, but at the same time, that's news people need to hear. So, hopefully your week gets better from here. Next episode, I'm not going to tease it too much, but next episode we are going to be working on a little earlier than the other ones. It's going to be different. Just be prepared.
Won't be news.
Will not be news. But it will be fun.
Yes.
So, so just tune in and get ready. Get ready for stupid, because that's what we do. in abundance.
I don't know I don't know where this came from, but someone once said it's about to get all stupid up in here.
It's not about to get. It's been. So, with that, we thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you all. Hope you guys have an awesome time with your games this week, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Until then, have a good one.
Take care.
Later.